Okay, so today we're diving deep into something pretty fascinating, the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood.
Ah,
And we've got these excerpts here. They outline the degrees of this brotherhood. And I gotta say, this whole idea of a path to self-discovery laid out in these degrees,
yeah.
it's pretty captivating.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is. It is. And it's really interesting how this path, this journey through the degrees starts with something so fundamental, unity.
Right.
That first degree, the degree of harmonious union,
Hmm.
it sets up this sense of interconnectedness, this sense of being a part of something much larger than just ourselves.
Right.
And it's such a powerful place to start.
Yeah, it reminds me of that feeling you get when you're looking up at the stars on like a really clear night, and you can really see them. And you're just kind of struck by how vast everything is. All your like little worries and stresses just seem so insignificant. It's like maybe that first degree is sort of reminding us to tap into that feeling of just being connected to something so much bigger.
Yeah.
But then we move on to the next degree, the degree of dualistic illusion. And things start to get a bit more complicated, don't they?
They do, they really do. This second degree, it's all about challenging the way we see things.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that the way we divide the world up into these opposites, good versus bad, light versus dark,
Mm-hmm.
that it's all an illusion, ultimately.
Okay.
Imagine realizing that the way you always understood the world, like the very framework you've been using, it's not real. It's just a way we make sense of things, simplify them.
Whoa. Yeah, that would really make you stop and think, wouldn't it? Like how much of what we do, how much of how we live our lives is shaped by that kind of black and white thinking. We're always categorizing and judging, labeling things.
It's true.
And to break free from that, to see past those limitations, that must be a pretty massive shift in perspective.
Oh, absolutely. And the text seems to suggest that this shift is crucial. Like it's essential for moving forward on this path. It's about recognizing that there's this underlying unity that exists beyond all of those apparent differences.
Hmm.
It's like realizing that the coin itself, with its two sides, it doesn't actually even exist.
Wow. Okay. Mind officially blown. So we've gone from unity to duality being an illusion. Where does this journey take us next?
Well, the next stop is the degree of divine trinity.
Okay.
This idea that existence has a triune nature,
Right.
the creator, the creation, and then that divine spark that exists within each of us.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an idea that resonates across so many different spiritual traditions.
I can see that. So it's about understanding how those three forces are connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
The source, the world that we experience, and then our own inner divinity.
Exact.
There's definitely a pattern emerging here. Each degree seems to build on the last one, like it's pushing us to kind of expand our awareness further each time.
Yeah.
And speaking of expanding awareness, next we have the degree of illuminated light.
Uh-huh.
I can practically feel the light bulbs going off already.
Huh. Right. This degree is about those aha moments, those sudden flashes of insight when everything just clicks into place.
Okay.
It's about accessing a higher level of understanding, a deeper truth.
Yeah, I get that. It's like those times when you've been struggling with a problem, maybe you've been working on it for ages, and then suddenly the solution just appears out of thin air.
Exactly.
It's like some mental block has been removed,
Right, yeah.
and suddenly it all becomes so clear. But is it always that sudden burst of insight? Or could it be a more gradual process, a kind of slow dawning of understanding?
That's a great question. And the text doesn't really specify, which I find interesting. It leaves it open to interpretation.
I see.
And maybe it's different for each person,
Yeah.
but I think what matters is that pursuit of knowledge, that willingness to keep searching for the answers.
I like that. So from this illumination, we're sort of propelled into the degree of ethereal space.
Yes.
And I love how this degree really evokes that sense of vastness. It's like stepping outside of our everyday routines, our little lives, and into this infinite expanse of the universe.
Precisely. It's about recognizing the sheer scale of existence and then understanding where we fit into all of that. Kind of makes you question the importance of our everyday struggles, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. It's like when you're feeling overwhelmed by, I don't know, your to-do list, all the stuff you have to get done, and then you remember that we're on this giant spinning rock hurtling through space, and suddenly all those deadlines and appointments just don't seem quite as important anymore.
It puts things in perspective.
It does, but I think it's also about more than just feeling small. I think it's about recognizing that we're all connected, everything in that vastness.
Exactly.
And from that feeling of cosmic connection, we then transition into the degree of unfolding becoming.
Yeah.
And this degree brings the focus back to the individual.
Yeah.
It's all about personal growth and the ever-evolving nature of who we are.
Right. It's that reminder that we're not static beings.
Right.
We're constantly changing, growing, transforming. We're all works in progress, always becoming something new.
Yeah, I like that. And it's like this degree is encouraging us to actively participate in that process of becoming.
Absolutely.
It's not just about accepting whatever life throws our way.
Mm-hmm.
It's about consciously shaping our own evolution.
Yes.
And then things take a bit of a turn towards the symbolic with a degree of transcendent being. I've got to say, I'm really intrigued by the imagery they use here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Crucifixion, death, resurrection, ascension. It's pretty intense stuff.
It is. But these concepts, you can interpret them on so many levels. In the context of this brotherhood, they represent a process of profound inner transformation.
So it's like a metaphorical death and rebirth.
Exactly.
We're letting go of the old stuff, the things that are holding us back, maybe limiting beliefs, our sense of ego. It's like we're being crucified to make way for a more authentic self to emerge.
That's a really powerful way to put it.
And then the ascension symbolizes reaching this higher state of being,
Right.
marked by more wisdom, more compassion, more understanding.
Yes.
It's a reminder that even when things are tough, we have the ability to rise above and transform. From this metaphorical transformation, we move into creating a sacred space within ourselves with the degree of sacred temple.
Yes. This degree, it really highlights how important inner work is. It's about cultivating this space within ourselves,
Okay.
where we can connect with our deepest selves, where we can find wisdom and experience a sense of the divine.
Mhm.
It's like creating a sanctuary inside yourself, a place of peace and connection.
And what I love about that is that this sacred space isn't tied to any specific physical place.
Right.
It's portable. You can access it wherever you are, whenever you need it.
Yeah.
It's like we each carry that potential for sacredness within us.
Exactly. And then finally, we arrive at the pinnacle of this whole journey, the degree of cosmic union. This is the ultimate goal, the complete merging of individual consciousness with the universal consciousness.
Wow.
It's achieving that state of oneness that so many mystics and spiritual seekers have talked about throughout history, a complete dissolution of boundaries, a total immersion in the infinite.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that the text doesn't explicitly say this, but I wonder if achieving cosmic union actually means transcending the degrees themselves.
Interesting.
Like the path ultimately leads to a place where the steps don't even matter anymore.
It's a journey that leads to a place beyond the journey itself.
Yeah, exactly. So if these degrees are like a map, where do you find yourself on this path of self-discovery? What resonates most strongly with you?
That's a really good question, and one that's worth thinking about. As you explore this path, remember each step you take, each insight, each challenge, it's all a part of your own unique journey unfolding.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
Take care.